And all the integral philosophers that we were watching in this talk, they are actually worried about society and about solving society's problems.
Mm.
That's as you say, a vital difference to your approach. You don't worry about society, do you?
I don't. I suppose there's an idea that if you wake up, there's this, it's like the bodhisattva idea that you've then got a kind of, you've got this sacred mission you've been given to wake up everyone in the world. There's almost a saying about it, isn't there? Like, he won't rest until everyone's got this. And it's like, to me, that's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's like, you look at the world, do you meet many people who want this or are inclined towards it? No, it's absolute doing that. So it's an idea of saving the world, and everybody should have this. I kind of understand where it comes from, because when you first find this, there is almost like a zeal, and I've talked about this before, because it's like, wow, it's the kind of wow zeal. Surely everyone wants to know this, but they don't. And the more grounded approach, as reality comes back in, is they don't want to know this. And who are you to kind of try and change them in the end? But I think out of that can come this kind of altruistic attitude of, oh, we could fix that. If everybody knew this, for example, if they were more loving, they wouldn't be fighting like that, or we wouldn't have Trump, or we wouldn't. It's a nice idea. That's all I would say about that. But if those people aren't willing to look at personality and go beyond it, it's not going to change. And they're not willing. So to me, it's to do with seeing life as it is, really. I'm not saying within your life you can't do what you do and hopefully have some, maybe have some effect, you know. Hopefully I'm doing that a bit with the few people who I talk to. So I'm doing that. But the idea of me creating a massive thing that is going to change the world is a fool's errand to me. People and society and the group personality is how it is. So really, I think it comes down to, yeah, you know, who are you to try and change it? If you happen to have a character that is of a type, Martin Luther King type, or a kind of, you know, public figure, or a Nelson Mandela, who through the coincidence of their character or their type or their situation or the country they're born into leads you to end up being a public figure that can actually be at the forefront of a movement and all that, you know, okay, so that can happen, I get that. And then you play it out. But then, of course, I would say if you were awake, I don't know whether you would play that out. It's debatable. You could, I suppose, consciously play that role, but your investment in it wouldn't be the same.
Let's have a look at Buddha or Zhangzu or Lao Tzu.
Yeah, but they're just sharing it. So right, what you're saying is then you can change the world. Well, for anybody who's open to listening, they maybe change their world. So that's true. Yeah. But I thought you were more talking in terms of like social issues and political stuff and, you know, saving the planet.
Yeah. I think that the aspect of social engineering, this is
good phrase.
Really a relevant aspect, because very intelligent people, they invest a lot of their mind into this. And also philosophers, like I would say Ken Wilber, but then also Jordan Peterson or Nietzsche. Actually, with what you are saying, actually my own attitude changes to that, because I'm giving it up. Actually, I'm giving it up because it's somehow not. It's not a question of intention. It's not a question of I need to set that intention to engineer society or something.
I suppose the question remains, like, can that intention come from beyond personality? Would you actually have that intention if you were awake? And I don't think you would. Because part and parcel of this is the knowledge that you don't exist, really. So and so much of that is like letting go of idea of, if you've let go of your identity, you've also let go of the idea that you could change that. It's like trying to change a flower that's in a certain shape. Well, you can't. It's perfect how it is, in a way. And I'm not saying the group personality is perfect as it is, but in one sense it is perfect, because it's a perfect expression of where people are at and the group mind, right? So unless you change that group mind, it can't be any other way, right? So people like Lao Tzu and Buddha, they did have a drip feed effect for the people who would be open to that. So in a sense, they were changing people's minds in as much as they were kind of going beyond their personality mind, right? But in terms of social stuff and group personality, without changing the mind, you've got a personality making those decisions and joining those groups and acting in those ways. So without changing the personality and going beyond it, those ways won't change. They can't change. So the idea of like changing the outcome without changing the person that it's coming from is impossible. It's like you can't change all those social structures. You have to change the mind that's creating them. And if those minds are just personality based, you're not going to change them. So there's that, but there's also, why do you want to change them? So then you get into the area of, well, maybe it's altruistic, you know, I want to help people. Again, that can come from personality or not. And if it doesn't come from personality, then there'll be no stress in it. There will be no proving in it. It will be non-doing, and it will have a grace to it. And it won't have a kind of like, only when I achieve that will I be fulfilled or happy, you know. So it's a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
What is the energetic source? And I think in this, you can sense where something is coming from. Because you know, like I said, you can hear some of the statements from even Nietzsche or Wittgenstein and know they're coming from at least a moment of freedom, of like seeing through. But that's very different, you know, so you can call those statements philosophy, but I almost think they transcend philosophy then, because it's not just words, it's not just thinking for its own sake. They're a pure expression of an insight, of an understanding that is beyond personality. I mean, I'll try and I should look up some quotes that I'm referring to when I say that, but I know I've had that feeling from him, just as I would have had from, you know, quotes from Buddha or whatever.